It took me 20 minutes to attach one edge of this massive piece of shade cloth to the pole that I just attached to the cinder block wall. And I wish that I could have thought about removing that conduit pole, attaching it to the shade cloth, and then attaching that to the wall, but I didn't. It never crossed my mind. I had tunnel vision because this project was so huge. I mean, when I thought about it, I was so overwhelmed. I feel like maybe I could have even gotten it done a little bit sooner, but number one, it was hard to come up with how to do this because who covers up their entire backyard with a giant piece of fabric? There's no manual or handbook on how to do this in your regular backyard. And so I made a lot of careless mistakes. And because it took me 20 minutes to attach this shade cloth to the conduit pole, I was struggling. I was becoming so frustrated. It was very difficult to navigate the ladder over the pots of my trees. A lot of these pots come in different sizes because I like to work with different heights just because my whole backyard is pretty much a square or maybe like more of a rectangle, a flat rectangle in the low desert. When we moved into the house, there was not a single living thing in the backyard. It was just dirt. I personally love working with different heights. If I could start over, I would play with different heights to trick the eye because I feel like no matter the size of your space, if you're able to design it in a way where things just look like they belong there, you can really trick the eye into believing that a space is bigger than it feels. Or I'm sorry, no, that a space feels bigger than it is. That's what I did with this backyard because I don't have very many pictures of it before we started gardening together because there was nothing to take pictures of. It was just dirt everywhere. Once in a while, I would see lizards. The lizards that like blend into the soil. They're more of a dusty brown color, grayish brown. And there were scorpions. I've been asked before if I see a lot of scorpions in Serendipity now compared to before, and nope. I don't see any scorpions. Ever since I started gardening, I have not seen a single scorpion in my entire backyard. And I don't know why that is. I mean, I have a couple of theories. Number one, before I started gardening, we used to find scorpions not only outside the house, but inside the house. One time, my husband was putting on, I don't remember if it was like a long sleeve or just like a shirt or something that had been hanging in the hallway closet. And when he put it on, right? Was it hanging in the hallway closet? I'm pretty sure. He put it on and a scorpion was in there and it bit him on the arm. It was awful. And we would find them in our garage all the time. Couldn't walk around barefoot because there was always a chance that there was a scorpion nearby. There was even a time where we found some like in our kitchen. It was something that we had to be careful with, but I was like, okay, we live in the low desert right next to the mountains. It's getting really hot. It was usually, I think, during the summertime when the scorpions would start showing up inside of our house. And after I started gardening, not a single scorpion is ever in the garden. I have never ever come across one ever again. And I think the reason for that is because number one, we have a ton of birds. Look, I have like this love-hate relationship with them, but it's not really a hate relationship. I think I just get so annoyed. And during the summer, I have very little patience. And so it's always so frustrating to see the birds destroying my garden. But I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be out there doing anything because usually it gets so hot that it becomes deadly hot during the worst parts of summer, which feels like it lasts like half of the year, if not more. Anyways, because the birds are in Serendipity constantly, I've seen them in the garden as the sun is coming up and you just see their little shadows all over the trellises during the summertime. It's not even just in the morning. I see birds in Serendipity all day long. The trellises fill with grapevines, and so that gives them some shade underneath, underneath the arches. And at times they even like to sort of like dig into the garden beds, and I'll see them just resting there. I think just, laying on top of the cool soil. And they eat my red wriggler worms and some of the worms in the soil during the summertime. I see them pecking the garden beds, the containers, everything gets destroyed by those birds. And even though it's annoying, at the same time, they help me out, because with them around, there's not as many bugs because they go after them. The birds are everywhere. They pretty much just take over the garden. So I think maybe that's why there's no scorpions, because they handle all of that. And honestly, even hornworms. I remember how in the beginning, once I finally came across a hornworm and realized that they were in the garden, I found so many hornworms. And usually they were on the pepper plants and they were on the tomato plants and the eggplants. But then once the grapevines really started filling in, I started finding so many more hornworms all over my grapevines. And instead of going after my tomatoes, I would find a couple here and there. Usually it was the grapevines that became sort of infested with a bunch of hornworms. It was really hard at that point because the grapevines are so lush and they have so many leaves that I wouldn't notice any leaves missing like I do with a tomato plant or a pepper plant, because a hornworm can wipe those plants out. But with the grapevines, they're just so prolific and they grow so fast during the heat in the low desert that I didn't really notice until the ground, like all of the pavers, were covered in these little black balls everywhere. I thought honestly that maybe my kids had grabbed some of my seeds and just like thrown them, but I was like, I don't even recognize that seed. And then that's when I started finding hornworms all over the trellises. I remember having my husband come out on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day, to peel several more hornworms off the vines because they freaked me out, you guys. And I couldn't even go outside anymore because I was so terrified. There was a few times where I saw hornworms fall from the trellis and splatter on the ground and all of their green guts just came. Oh, it was awful. So my husband helped me out with that. But then over time, as more and more birds started coming towards Serendipity, I noticed that there was less and less hornworms every single year. And I didn't put two and two together until I started watching the trellises a lot more during the day whenever I was editing. And I would see the birds just constantly pecking throughout the leaves. And even though a lot of the times I couldn't see what they were pecking at, I'm pretty sure they were just grabbing any worm in their sight. Any worm, any grape. I mean, they're not really picky about that. But even though it was a little bit frustrating, the good thing is that they definitely do help me with a lot of pest control. And they're pretty cute. I always say that I don't like birds, and I don't really mean that. I think that they're adorable. I think they just annoy me because I put so much work into this, but I know that they're just animals looking to survive. So I completely understand that. And where was I going with this? What was I telling you about at first? I started going off on a tangent and I don't remember what this video was about. Oh, the shade cloth, right? Was that what I was talking about? Setting up the shade cloth was definitely very, very difficult, very time consuming, very tedious. And I remember spending hours out there huffing and puffing, trying to brainstorm how to get this cloth to connect with the poles. And I think at one point I started using zip ties because otherwise it was just too difficult for me to tug on the shade cloth while I tried to reach for the pole at the same time. So using zip ties allowed me to connect the two and then start tightening a little bit at a time, and that way I could eventually secure them in place permanently. And that's basically how I got this done. I just repeated that process over and over and over again. And it's funny because once I was done with the entire project, which you probably won't get to see in this video because it took me ages. I remember one time my sister asking me, "How did you do it? Did you do it by yourself?" And I told her yes. And she said, "How?" And I said, "I was like an ant," because that's literally what it feels like. You have one thought in your head, or at least I do, one thought in my head, which is connect the shade cloth to the pole. Connect the shade cloth to the pole. And every time I would climb up and down the ladder and move things around and get stuck and mess up, I would just keep telling myself, okay, just connect this piece to the pole. Just connect this piece to the pole. And just focusing on that made me not feel so overwhelmed about the fact that I'm trying to cover my entire backyard, or the fact that I spent 20 minutes connecting one little piece. And honestly, I am well aware of the fact that Whenever I'm working on projects like these, I can always ask for help. I probably should ask for help a lot of the time, but ever since I was a kid, I've been so used to doing things for myself and not bothering other people and figuring it out on my own that it's a habit that I am currently still trying to break. I'm trying to get used to asking for help when I need it, or just asking for help if I want it. And when it comes to serendipity, I love working by myself. In this case, I think a lot of it is not just that I love gardening and I love the silence of it and being able to think, but I'm a very, very introverted person, and sometimes I like having some time where I don't have to talk to anybody else. During projects like these, there are times when I stop and I talk to you, but then for the majority of the project, I'm actually just working in silence. And everything that I do tell you about almost feels like I'm just thinking out loud. Although as time has gone by, I want to be able to be a little bit more social in the garden. I want to be able to talk to people about plants, but I don't know why I get so shy. Serendipity feels like it's such a huge part of me. This is a garden that I have dreamt about ever since I was a kid, even though I grew up never wanting anything to do with gardening. That was one thing that I thought I would never ever be a part of. I didn't want anything to do with it, and I'll tell you about that someday when I'm ready, but this was never the plan. This was never what I intended to do with my life. But when my mom passed, I was able to heal from so much pain and grief and just working through all of the phases of grief in serendipity. Whenever people come into serendipity, I become so shy. So shy. I feel like normally whenever I'm outside, I can remember the name of every single tree, every single plant. I know where everything is located because I just have it memorized. It feels like it's a part of me. I just know where everything is. Whenever I add plants to the garden, like trees, I might take a few weeks or months to remember the variety if it's a new planting. But for my bigger trees, I know every single one. And I remember the day that I planted it like it was yesterday. Not like the exact date, but like the memory of planting it like it was yesterday. But whenever people come into the garden, I feel like, number one, I'm always sweaty when I'm out in serendipity because it's always far too hot for me. The climate in the low desert is just not my ideal climate personally. And whenever people come over, if I'm near them, I start sweating like 4 times as much as I normally do. And my mind goes blank and my hands get clammy and I can't remember anything. Like if they ask me questions, I feel like I'm struggling to find the answer because I just get so shy that it makes me anxious and I can't think properly. So what I prefer to do, it almost feels like somebody's literally walking through my diary. Even though they're just plants, I just have so many adventures in serendipity that it's very foreign for me to have other people in my garden. Other than, of course, my gremlins and my husband and my sister. But even with my sister, I get so shy if she ever asks me for a garden tour. Although I do feel more comfortable walking her through the garden, it just makes me feel super shy. With my husband, he's the only one where I feel like I could just talk his ear off. And sometimes I still get shy having him come into the garden. But for the most part, I feel like he's literally my best friend, so I'll just tell him everything. Sometimes I will force him to take garden tours. I think he's probably the one person, and my gremlins, who never have to ask me for garden tours because I force them to take them with me. Or I tell them, okay, come outside, I need to show you these new changes. And it's like, this tree grew a little extra 1.5 inches since the last time that I showed you. And for me, that's so exciting. And the funny thing about me telling my husband all of this is I'm always so animated when it comes to the garden. I can't help it. It just makes me feel so excited, and I can blab on for hours and hours. And he will always have the same calm expression. He's very serious, but he's processing everything. So he's not as animated as I am. But whenever people come to our home, like I just mentioned, I usually don't give any garden tours. I am far too shy and I'm just not ready to do that. Even with family, it's just difficult for me. But my husband is actually the one that gives the garden tours. And I find it so endearing because even though it may seem like he's not interested, he just has a different personality. And whenever people come over, he'll tell them what varieties we have, how long they've grown, and different little facts about all of the plants in Serendipity that it makes me chuckle sometimes because he remembers things that I never imagined he would even, be listening to. He remembers the little facts. He knows the names of all the areas of Serendipity. So if he has questions about the fig trees, he'll ask me about Fig Alley in particular or Citrus Lane. So I just think that's so sweet. Even though he's not into plants, he does not care about them at all personally. All of the plants in Serendipity mean a lot to him because he knows they mean a lot to me. And I love the fact that he takes the time to actually learn stuff about them. And I can see that, that knowledge just sticks with him. And sometimes whenever I come up with different plants for Serendipity, like if I'm going to set up the shade cloth, he'll ask me what my plans are and what it's going to do. And I'll explain everything to him. And you know what? He's also so protective of everything in Serendipity. For example, if anybody comes to visit and, they go into the garden, he's so protective. Like he doesn't want anybody to harvest anything because he says, those are Star's tomatoes. Wait, don't touch anything. Let me ask her. And I always tell him, hey, it's okay. They can harvest stuff. But he's like, are you sure? You worked really hard on that. And I know you like harvesting it. So he's so super duper sweet. And in the garden tour earlier today, I mentioned how our peach tree is fruiting. And it was so cute on Easter because the peaches were already starting to swell and it looked adorable, just like this miniature peach tree. And so, of course, a lot of our family started becoming very curious about it. They thought it was cute. And my husband was very like, did nobody touch these peaches? These are Star's peach harvest. Please don't touch them. And I always laugh because I'm like, it's okay. I'm fine with it. If anything happens, it's no big deal. But he knows how much it means to me. So he's just very sweet. I think ultimately I want Serendipity to feel like a space where I can gather with my family. The only issue that I keep running into with this garden is I'm running out of space, guys. My backyard is not very big at all. And with all the plants that I have, which haven't even filled in yet, I can still prune everything to keep its size under control and have it grow however I want. But my dream is still to someday have a massive garden and an orchard and be able to just plant to my heart's content and have a lot of gathering spaces and be able to host holiday parties and birthday parties and maybe just random get-togethers with my family just to be able to enjoy time with them. But in order to get there, I have to keep working with what I have right now. And currently I have a small space in a suburban HOA community. So I'm working with what I have and what I can do to make my backyard as abundant as possible while maximizing my space. Oh, okay. Am I almost done there? Because my throat is getting sore from talking so much and I don't know what else to tell you about. I'm almost done setting up the shade cloth. I still am gonna go back in and adjust some things, tighten others. But before I finish setting up this one to this post right here, I'm gonna attach the last piece of shade cloth.